Record the way you want things to sound. You've probably heard that before, but what does it actually mean? I remember never really being able to get my multitracks to sound like raw, professional sounding multitracks. They always sounded already like so good and like almost like finished. And if you look at big mixing engineers, you see them, yeah, all I really did was just add a little top end and a little compression and that was it. Then how do you get your multitracks to really sound like the finished product already? So I was messing around with just some guitar tones and bass tones and whatever. So I made a little example to show you how you can actually get there really quickly, and it's a certain way of recording. So this little track is called Blink 183, and it's not to be confused with Blink 182. Just a quick loop. Yeah, I know it sounds like a cover band version of that one song. This is the bass. That's with processing on. I'm also taking off the mix bus processing. So this is the way I recorded it. It's a bit of a shitty loop, but you get the point. So raw. Then with processing, not a massive difference. It's just there to make it fit with the guitars. And so how did I record it to sound that way? I'm using relatively inexpensive equipment. I have a single bass guitar and that goes into a DI box. That then splits into a SansAmp pedal. And from the SansAmp pedal, I split that out into another DI. So I have two DIs, one clean, one that goes into a 1073 preamp, and the SansAmp that also goes into a 1073. Technically, you could do it with one DI and then run that and duplicate it twice, but I want it to sound already good when I'm playing. You want your artist, when he's playing, to feel like, oh wow, this really sounds good. I'm really into it. Instead of like playing and like, yeah, it's probably gonna sound good when it's mixed. That's not a fun way to play, and you'll play better if it sounds good. So I have the raw DI. I have the 1073 DI. And I have the SansAmp. When I'm recording, I'm not monitoring through Logic. I'm going through Console. It's a UAD software that comes with your Apollo. This is the split of the SansAmp, so it's a clean DI, nothing, no EQ, completely raw. Then I have the DI going into the Warm Audio 1073, and then with a little EQ on there. So I'm EQing already on the way in, and that's really about it. So the SansAmp gets a similar treatment. I'm taking out a little low mids, I'm taking out a little honkiness at 700, and then adding a little more string noise at around 3K and a little more at around 2.5K. I just need to be a little bit brighter because the strings are a bit old. By the way, you should always put new strings on, but I was just messing around. So professional recordings already have some EQ and sometimes actually already have some compression on there. They're not really giving you a clean DI and say, hey, make this sound good. No, this is the way I would deliver it if I would not mix it myself. And you can see I have this Nugent aligner, which phase aligns all the three tracks to each other by delaying some of the tracks. And I track through this, so when I play it back, it's already phase aligned. So it's really just the raw tracks. So I have this fader port over here and I check out what sounds nice. So I use that clean DI, the clean raw DI, to go into an amp plugin because I don't want to be blasting an SVT amp over here. That's not fun for me. So it's amp, DI, SansAmp pedal. In this instance, I found the DI to be a little pokey, so I just put a little compression on there. So this being the raw tracks and the raw balance, it already puts you in a really good position, and then the guitars are going to be tracked with this sound in mind. So we have it already works really good together. And also, these guitar tracks have a purpose. I'm not just double tracking for the sake of double tracking. There has to be a point of why you're double tracking a guitar. Not to make it just, oh, I just need to make it bigger, so I'll just track a bunch of times. No. The first pair of guitars, a more scooped and distorted sound. So... And then the second pair is a pair of Marshalls. It's way less distorted, but it gives more of the mid-range character to fill out the scoopness of the first pair of guitars. And this way, you have a more well-rounded sound. So you have the full scoop sound, but then you also have the mid-range and the definition of the guitars also in there. So we got the Marshalls, and combined, they make up one sound. Add the bass guitar to that. And the drums are just MIDI because I didn't have any drum tracks. If I would be just a recording engineer and I would send this off to a mixing engineer, I would just send off the amp sound, the DI, and the send sound. And also just give him my blend. So 9 out of 10 times, engineers will just, if it sounds good, it is good, then he would use my blend of the bass and be done with it. But it's nice to give an option. I am not doing crazy EQ on the guitars as well. I'm just adding a little low end. I'm taking out a little honkiness. And on the second pair, I'm also just adding a little more mids and a little more body, taking out some mud. That's about it. Adding some compression to keep it really in your face. So this is what it would sound like for me in the tracking stage. I'm already applying EQ. I'm already applying some compression. Also, you need the artist to feel like, wow, this song already sounds finished. The vocalist is going to be performing differently to a track that sounds already like really, really good instead of like a raw track that doesn't have any energy, no excitement. My point being is track like this is already the end result. Don't just document, make sounds.